What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we're gonna do something a little bit different. I kind of want to give you like a bite-sized style of a Magic Gathering deck. No pun intended. I know today's deck is a Selesnya food-based deck. There's no pun at all. But what I wanted to try to do is incorporate some editing into this as I kind of explain the deck and how it breaks down. Kind of make the video a little bit more digestible if you don't have a lot of time to watch it. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this as I'm doing this, just because I want to maybe kind of sprinkle these in as well, because you know not every time you can watch a 40-minute video of me just doing some gameplay, breaking down the deck and whatnot. But today's deck is a Selesnya's food deck. It's a pretty straightforward deck. The goal here is to get food tokens onto the battlefield, whether it's from the various things that produce food tokens, and kind of filter through our deck to get the cards that we want to, and kind of hopefully use these food tokens to do things to our opponents and hopefully win the game. But guys, if you like the video, hit that like button. It helps out the channel a lot. If you want to know when I post more videos, hit the subscribe button. But let's dive into what this deck is all about. So to start off, it is playing for Gilded Gooses. It's here for the mana ramp. It's here for the food token. You can tap it to create more food tokens. You can use the food tokens by sacrificing them to produce mana, but it's one of the cards that help us make some food tokens. Follow that up with the Griffin Airy. It's a new card from M21. At the beginning of our end step, if we gain 3 or more life this turn, we create a 2/2 Griffin creature token with flying. We can sacrifice our food tokens to gain that 3 life. And then if we have multiples of these, we can definitely stack birds every turn at the end of our turn, which is definitely good because sometimes that is what the deck turns out to be. Bond of Flourishing is another card which pretty much it helps us look at the top 3 cards of our library. We may reveal a permanent card among them, which our deck plays pretty much all permanents. Put that into our hand, the rest on the bottom of our library in any order, and we gain 3 life. So pretty much same thing. We gain 3 life, get to put something to our hand, so it's kind of like a 2 mana draw card for green. But we gain some life out of it, which helps us with the Griffin Airy as well. Then we got the Destiny Spinner because we're playing enchantments, and might as well, because we're playing creatures as well. Let's play this. It's an enchantment creature. Makes our enchantments not be countered. We want to make sure we get the Griffin Airy hit in the battlefield, as well as a couple other enchantments in the deck. And if we have some creatures that we want to hit the battlefield as well, if we're playing against any control matchups, she is good for that. As well as she has the ability to make a land become an elemental creature with trample and haste until the turn X's number of enchantments we control. We're not really using that effect, but the main effect here is that she's an enchantment creature and the fact that things can't be countered. Then we got Nessian Wanderer because we're also playing some enchantments. Might as well play him. He'll help us dig through our deck to get to some lands, hopefully, to kind of give us some to thin out our deck a little bit to kind of hit the things we want to hit. So Nessian Wanderer is a 2-cost thing with the ability to kind of, whenever we play enchantment, we get to kind of look at the top 3 cards of our library and get a land hopefully from that. Then we got Trail of Crumbs, which is another card that produces a food as it comes into play. And whenever we sacrifice food, we actually can pay an additional 1. We can look at the top 2 cards of our library and reveal a permanent card among them, put it into our hand, the rest in the bottom of our library. So makes a food, uses whenever we sack a food for some life, it allows us to get a card out of it for additional 1 mana. Then we have the Gift of Paradise, another thing to just kind of ramp up a little bit. It allows us to gain 3 life, and pretty much we can add 2 mana of any color on enchanted land. So pretty much allows us to play our white cards if we don't have a lot, because we don't play a lot of white mana. We don't play a lot of white cards, so it's not the biggest of deals, but this helps us at least filter it so we can hopefully play anything that has white in it, as well as gaining the 3 life, which works with the Griffin Airy. It allows us to get more Griffins, so that is good. Then we got the Contestant Champion. If you don't know what he's all about, pretty much whenever we play an enchantment enters battlefield, we get a +1/+1 counter on him, and we get to draw a card, just a solid card that just gets bigger and bigger if our opponent can't deal with it. He becomes a big threat, and just something that can either block or swing in for big damage. Then we got the Wicked Wolf because we're playing a food deck. Wicked Wolf is a guy that comes into the battlefield. It fights up to 1 target creature we don't control. Sacrifice a food, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains indestructible at the end of turn, and tap it. So pretty much we can fight when it initially comes into the battlefield, which is always good. As well as we can sacrifice food, give it counters to make it stronger, as well as given it indestructible in case our opponent likes to have a board wipe. We can sacrifice food in response and kind of make sure that he at least survives that board wipe and stays on the battlefield. Then we got Tolsmere, just a 1/of. It's another legendary creature. When it enters the battlefield, create a Volja, Friend of Elves, a legendary 3/3 green-white wolf token. So we get a 3/3 for it for the cost of 5. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under control, we gain 3 life, and that creature fights up to 1 target creature we don't control. So the wolf that comes into the battlefield, we gain 3 life from it, as well as it can fight something that we want. So it's a little bit of removal. We don't really play any things to really remove anything. The goal of this deck is enchantments and creatures. So that is that. Then we got 1 plains because white's not the main priority. A lot of the stuff is green mana. We also have Gift of Paradise to kind of hopefully filter our mana to get to the white cards if we do need to play them and we don't have any white mana on the battlefield. 11 Forest, 4 Gingerbread Cabins because it creates food tokens. Sometimes it's a little iffy when you draw Gingerbread Cabins and they're open in hand just because it comes into play tapped, unless we draw 3 more other forests, and we don't get the food token unless it comes into play untapped. So it's better in the late game, not really good in the beginning of the game. Then we got Temple Gardens for additional green-white lands. And it's a forest plain, so it kind of counts for the Ginger Cabin. And then we got 4 Fabled Passages to kind of thin our deck out a little bit, search our library maybe for that 1 plains, or just the additional forest in case we need it. But overall, this is the deck. The deck overall is pretty fun in the sense that it does a lot of things pretty well. Depending on the matchup, it is a little bit of a slower deck, so it's not really good against your aggressive decks. It is, I would say it's a little bit on the budget side in the sense that it does play, it looks like 4, 5, 9, looks like 9, 13, 17 total rares, 21 total rares, so 1/3 of the deck is rares. I understand. There's things you can do to replace certain things, like for example, you don't have to play Temple Gardens. There's coming to play tap green white lands in case you need those. The only thing is they don't have they're not counted as forests or plains, so that's one alternative. You can also play Evolving Wilds in case you don't want to play Fabled Passage, so that already removes 8 rares from the deck. Tolsmere is a 1 of. It's not a necessity, so you can always play additional Destiny Spinner or something else that maybe you want to add into the deck, but it's a 1 of, so it's not the biggest it deals. Setessan Champion, not, you know, it's not the main thing. Maybe we want to play something that just helps us get more additional food. There's, I can't think of the top of my head, but there's a 3-cost sorcery spell that gives us just food tokens, or we can sacrifice food tokens and create additional, and actually create a 7/7, so that's a possibility out there instead of playing this. And other than that, Gilded Goose, you know, I don't know what other food things there, but, you know, if you're going to create any rares, maybe just create the Gilded Goose. It is something that is going to stay through rotation, so Gilded Goose is good, creates the food token. It's a good, you know, mana producer. Worst case scenario, maybe just throw some, you know, maybe throw in Paradise Druids or something like that as a mana producer. But the only thing you're going to lose there is you're going to lose out on the food token. But I think overall the deck is pretty budget friendly in the sense that you can have things that replace certain things. Yeah. But let me know what you guys think about the deck down in the comments below. I do appreciate you guys checking out the video. Hopefully you like the new format as I kind of sprinkle in some gameplay as we do this. But overall, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to know I post more videos, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see another video that YouTube recommends, usually when I get to this point, usually videos are popping up right here on my right. Click one of those, and I'll catch you in the next video.